You know, ever since I was little, I always wanted to be Cruella de Vil, and now I am.
Like, now we live in a country where a man could say, now I'm a woman. Now I'm a woman. And we will call you by your name as a woman. But that doesn't mean that a doctor ain't gonna call you until you need a prostate examination.
I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. These are not the men that are interested in me in that capacity. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was gonna be a thing. Earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender.
So Katt Williams and D.L. Hughley just went in on Magic Johnson's son, EJ. And they're basically saying this is what happens when mental illness keeps getting enabled. In case you missed it, EJ is getting clowned online again, this time after being spotted in Paris rocking a women's leather dress and what looked like size 20 heels. And this comes just weeks after EJ caught backlash for claiming he looks better than any woman and only attracts straight men. But hold on, if a man is attracted to EJ Johnson, how exactly is that man straight? The math just isn't adding up. And it gets even more confusing. Based on EJ's own words, he's moved away from he, him pronouns, and now prefers they, them, or she, her. He even refuses to let his parents call him their son.
But even I told them on my birthday, in June, that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing. You know, even like son, I was like, you know, the world tried to give me that label, like Magic Johnson's son, and I was like, well, he's dead. And now there is Miss Thing. Like, we're not doing that.
So EJ dates men but doesn't identify as gay, and at the same time, he rejects being labeled a woman or a trans woman. Now, a lot of outlets describe EJ as non-binary or gender fluid, but he shuts those labels down too, which is fine, I guess. But when EJ says things like, I look better than any woman, and claims straight men are attracted to him. There's a word people are using for that, and it's attention seeking. And now D.L. Hughley is stepping in saying you can call yourself whatever you want, but at the end of the day, biology doesn't lie.
Like, now we live in a country where a man could say, now I'm a woman. Now I'm a woman. And we will call you by your name as a woman. But that doesn't mean that a doctor ain't gonna call you until you need a prostate examination. You can wear a sundress when you go. Yeah. You're still getting the same thing I'm getting. So happy anniversary, I guess. You can say you're a thing and you're that.
Yeah.
You like, and you have to, like, for now, I'm a white man trapped in this black man's body.
Yeah.
My name is Chad.
Yeah.
Now that ain't gonna work good for the police. Wait, I'm a white man, but both of y'all get out. But the first. Yeah.
And then there's Katt Williams. He's coming at this from a totally different angle, and he's not laughing at all. In fact, Katt believes there's something much darker behind all of this. During his appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast, he linked transgender identity, Hollywood success, and the occult figure Baphomet. Katt claimed that in these rituals, followers had to kiss Baphomet's ring as a sign of loyalty. And based on that, he said he saw it coming early, that trans identity would become a major cultural topic, and that kissing the ring, basically submitting to power, would become normalized.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things will become popular in the future.
And Katt's main argument is that Hollywood runs these rituals intentionally to humiliate and control celebrities. According to him, things like men wearing dresses, kissing the ring, or Baphomet symbolism aren't random at all. It's all designed to break you down. In his view, once a celebrity agrees to something humiliating, something that clashes with their image, their own, they've proven they'll do whatever they're told, and that's how the industry keeps them in line. And if you ever try to speak out, they can destroy you with whatever they've got on you. So you stay quiet, play your role, and keep moving up. Katt also believes this ties into the whole trans conversation, pointing out it's not just E.J. Johnson. It feels like more and more celebrity kids are identifying this way. In the general population, studies say trans and non-binary people make up around 1 to 2%, but among celebrity kids, it seems way higher. So if these rituals are real, why would it stop with the celebrities themselves? Their kids are right there growing up backstage, around industry power players. If the parents are controlled, the kids could be part of that system too. For some of these celebrities, having this in the family could feel personally uncomfortable, especially for alpha athletes or more traditional figures. But they still smile, do interviews, post supportive messages, and take the praise. Why? Because they've already learned the rule: do what you're told and you win. And a lot of people think this might be the case with Magic Johnson. He's one of the most iconic, respected, traditionally masculine athletes ever. Lakers legend, always smiling, super charismatic, billionaire businessman, the ultimate good guy image. But then there's his son, EJ Flamboyant, wearing women's clothes, makeup, heels, and openly saying he dates straight men. And publicly, Magic says he supports EJ 100%.
My son came out, I was so happy for him and happy for us as parents. And we love him. And EJ is amazing. And so you gotta support your child.
But honestly, every time Magic is asked about EJ, his body language betrays him. He seems nervous, stumbling over his words, not keeping eye contact. It just doesn't come across as genuine.
In the Black community, young gay men or young ladies who are lesbian, they're afraid to tell their parents. Just like I want my son EJ to talk to me about everything. I want my son Andre to talk to me, my daughter Elisa, and that's what it's about. Yes, I go to church, I'm a Christian, but at the same time, this is reality. My son is gay, that's reality.
Also, it's interesting because in interviews, Magic often refers to EJ as gay, but we've heard directly from EJ that he rejects that label. So it makes you wonder how deep that acceptance really goes. Your youngest son chose to live his life as a gay man. That's right, I don't care. You want to be a gay man? I'm supporting that, right? I'm supporting that. I'm supporting you. But here's the thing, there are a lot of people who believe Magic might be privately uncomfortable or even hurt by EJ's lifestyle. The problem is, he can't say it, not even slightly. And here's why. First, Magic's image is everything. This is the same man who announced he had HIV in the early 90s, shocked the world, and then spent decades rebuilding his reputation into that of a responsible, family-oriented icon. Now he's worth over $1 billion thanks to endorsements, business deals, and being widely liked. So if he even hinted at disapproval, the backlash would be immediate. Sponsors could pull out and the media would turn on him fast. Plus, Magic came up in the NBA alongside guys like Charles Barkley and Larry Bird, not exactly the most progressive era. But by the time EJ went public, the culture had shifted. Magic had two options: adapt or get labeled the villain. He chose to adapt. But does he truly believe it? A lot of people aren't so sure. Now, going back to Katt's theory, if these industry rituals are about control, then the celebrity has to play along publicly. Look at Magic, a hyper-masculine athlete sitting courtside while his son shows up in heels and dresses. It's probably not what he was raised to accept. And yet, he smiles, poses for photos, posts loving messages. According to Katt's logic, that's kissing the ring. So maybe EJ isn't the one under pressure, maybe it's Magic. Think about it. EJ gets to live freely, build fame, and make money. Meanwhile, Magic has to hold back his real feelings, stay silent, and protect his image. And it's not just Magic. There's a pattern showing up with older, traditionally masculine black celebrities, men who grew up in a time where being different got you mocked, now raising kids who identify differently and having to publicly support it. Marlon Wayans is a good example. He has a trans son, Kai. And while he's openly supportive, if you watch his interviews, there's a certain tension. He jokes, Sure, but it feels like he's still processing it in real time.
How old is your daughter now?
My child's 23.
Okay.
24 now.
Okay.
And this was happening when they were 22, 23. And for me, like,
that's the let go time. That's like you're your own person now.
yeah. But
And-
you're trying to hold on, right? And you want this thing that's in your head, normalcy, and you think about your grandchildren,
Yeah.
and you all kinds of shit. And it's like, yo, it's not on me to think about none of.
And then there's Eddie Murphy. He handles it differently. He barely speaks on his trans child, his son, with Melby Angel came out as trans. But Eddie never really mentions Angel when talking about his kids. We hear from sources that he accepts Angel fully. But if that's true, why not speak on it? He talks about his other children, so why not Angel? And then you've got Dwayne Wade, who took the opposite approach. He's extremely vocal about supporting his trans daughter Zaya, almost to the point where it feels like overcompensation.
The trans conversation is not the entire conversation with us. This is 10% of our relationship. We have just conversation about anything.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers, French fries, like
Remember our conversation on mustard?
yeah, mustard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to think that every time that Zaya and I sit down and have, this daddy-daughter time, and I tell you guys all the time, I always create moments with my village for my people, right? Especially my kids. I'm gonna find these moments to create with them.
These are all men who built their reputations on toughness, confidence, and traditional masculinity. And now they're in a position where one wrong comment or even silence can get them dragged or canceled. But let me know what you think about all this, especially the situation with EJ Johnson. Do you believe Magic truly accepts EJ? And what's your take on Katt's claims about Hollywood and these so-called rituals? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't miss the next video.